Howdy, Tech Squad! Engineer here. We just hit 1,000 subscribers.
Thank you, my fellow Americans, for 1,000 subscribers!
We really appreciate your support in this channel! And only 5.6% of you are subscribed! And 94.4% of you did not subscribe yet!
Give this video a big thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it yet. Before this video starts, I want to warn you, this Creepypasta is made entirely from imagination, and not based on any true stories. It even contains scenes that are not suitable for minors, such as murder, strong language, disturbing images, references to horror scenes from films, shows and games, and graphic violence. If either you are too young towards this, sensitive, or easily anxious, please click away from this video and watch something else.
And thanks again for 1,000 subscribers.
Let's go celebrate, boys! Today is a good day!
Are you all aware of the Kung Fu Panda ripoff series known as Legendary Rabbit or Legend of Kung Fu Rabbit? Well, I absolutely adore the second film. The first film was not so good. And in America, they called it Legend of Kung Fu Rabbit for some reason. Of course, everyone knew it was a ripoff to Kung Fu Panda. The second movie, Legendary Rabbit, The Marshal of Fire, or it was also known as Rise of the Rabbit for some reason. The second movie I really love the most. The movie has its moments, and the animation and fighting scenes are top-notch great. And I am aware of Rowan Horton's stories on the lost THX text trailers, including that one box set one. So, I just come to learn that Adam Kennington was bailed out of prison. So, I did find a Legendary Rabbit THX trailer back in April of 2022. So let's go back to April of 2022, shall we? I was walking around my neighborhood, kind of like in suicidemouse.avi, until I found a silver-looking box. The box looked silver, like I said, except looks like someone had a really tough time coloring the box with silver metallic marker. And there was tape on the top, and there was the THX logo that was written on black Sharpie. So I grabbed out my pocket knife and I cut the tape open. And what was inside the box? Was a THX DVD. The DVD case had the Legendary Rabbit logo on the top and the THX logo in the bottom. So I thought this was pretty interesting. I love Legendary Rabbit, The Marshal of Fire. So I decided to put the disc in my PS3. Yes, I still have one. And the DVD opened with the signature logos and crap, you know. And it cut straight to the menu. The menu looked pretty nice. It had the Legendary Rabbit poster in the middle, and it had text on the top left-hand corner, and the top right-hand corner was the THX logo. And underneath the poster, it had the Legendary Rabbit logo and THX. And I can tell that the Legendary Rabbit logo is clearly unfinished because it looked like someone just photoshopped the logo in, except the background was still there. I guess they didn't have enough time to make it transparent or something. But anyway, there was 3 options on the menu. such as play, languages, and extras. So I pressed on languages. It had English, French, Portuguese, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and Australian, and Spanish. So I pressed on English because I am American myself. And I pressed on the extras. The extras had the 3 of the THX TEX trailers, such as the TEX 1, TEX 1 / Tex's debut, Mucan, and Action. So I backed out of the extras menu and I played the trailer. And, of course, there was a warning. The warning said this: this trailer was made to promote the recent Warner Brothers movie, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, despite not being THX certified. If you have a kid next to you, or if you're under the age of 18, don't watch this trailer. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh boy, I said in frustration. Here comes the freaky horror trailer again. That's because I'm literally watching the trailer. So the trailer starts with the THX logo in the dark background. Like always. And then 4 characters appeared in the hideout, walked into the frame. It was 2, who is the White Rabbit character, known as Master Rabbit. And there was another character that has swords. Her name is Penny, which that's a character that I adore very, very much. And then there's a little rabbit named Biggie. He should have been called Smalley. Haha. Whatever. And then there's a white tiger named Lon, which she has fire powers. Yes, kind of like Blaze from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Which, even though Blaze doesn't have a sword, well, she did have one, but she only had one in Sonic and the Black Knight. As you can tell in the screenshot, there's only 3, so that was before she walked into the frame. So in the screenshot, there's only 2, Penny and Biggie. So Biggie said, "Are you sure this is safe, too?" And Penny was looking around, hoping that she would fight some baddies, or at least some minions. But there was nowhere to be seen. The hideout was quiet. "I have a feeling that something may lunge at us," Penny said. To reassured the other characters that everything will be fine. "Don't worry, guys. If something goes wrong, the door is over there. We're just gonna have to find our master, and when we find this bad guy, I will pick him up and I'll slam him to the ground and I will beat him up." And then it showed the dark background with text dropping down to the ground, like in the Mucan trailer. And he has that cartoony grin on his face. Like always. "2, Penny, Biggie, get behind me!" Lon shouted as she points her big sword at Tex. The 4 animals went behind Lon. "Hey there, Master Rabbit," Tex said, with his evil voice as always. "What have you done with our master?" shouted 2. "I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm not gonna tell you," Tex said. "You better tell me now, or else." The 2 was interrupted with Tex saying, "Or else what? Hurt me? Beat me up? Or try to stab me with your weapons? Do you really think that you can hurt a red robot? Well, that's where you're wrong. Because the T-Man is going to destroy you all. In fact, You four looked perfect for my Thanksgiving meal. Let's go animal hunting with the T-Man! Tex shouted, and then he brings out his chainsaw. 2, Penny, Biggie, go find the master. I will take care of this robotic punk. Lon said, and then she lunges towards Tex. She clawed at Tex's cheek, leaving a little scratch mark on Tex's cheek. And then Lon tried to slam her sword on Tex, but Tex was too fast. He was like the Flash from the DC franchise. You're too slow, Tiger Girl, Tex shouted, referencing Sonic the Hedgehog's line from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Lon got furious. She went full on rage mode on Tex. She went full on firepower on. She went max power. Her sword being on fire, as seen in the second movie, she leaps towards the air and slams her sword on Tex, knocking him back. That was a really good power, Tiger Lady. But now, let me show you my special ability, Tex said, and then he brings out his moo can and threw it at Lon, almost like a boomerang or a frisbee. And the moo can hits Lon in the stomach, dropping her sword. And then the moo can flew back to Tex's hand. And then he puts the moo can back in his belt. Tex flew to Lon's sword and he grabs it. And then he, I'm not kidding, he slams Lon's sword through her stomach, killing her instantly. Lon! Penny and Biggie shouted. And then Tex grabbed her by the neck. And then he pressed the button on his chest to fly away. And then Tex dropped the body and on the trap in the trapdoor of the X. And then Tex looked at the other animals and he said, "Which animal did the T-Man play with next?" Tex grinned. "You psychotic monster! You're gonna pay for that!" Biggie shouted. And then he fired his crossbow at Tex. "Hey, that's disrespectful, you little brat," Tex said. And then he flew towards Biggie. And then he grabs him by the neck. Just like in the second movie. When Jean, that deer villain, in the second movie grabbed him by the neck during the final battle sequence. Penny saw it. She grabs out her two swords and ran towards Tex. "Let him go!" she shouted. The same line from the second movie. And then Tex grabbed her by the arm. And then he electrocutes Penny, which she drops her swords. "What a dynamic duo," said Tex. "Why are you called a dynamic duo? You should be called Dynamite Duo." Tex used Biggie to press the button on his chest because his hands were full. Tex flew away laughing evilly. "Penny! Biggie! No!" shouted two. He ran after Tex. And then Tex entered the trapdoor, and so did two. Two entered a dark hallway. The jetpack noise faded out because Tex was farther away from Two. Two kept on running through the dark hallway until he made it to the other side. He found a light switch. He turns on the lights, and what he saw almost made me throw up. It was a dead corpse of the Master Turtle character from the Legend of a Rabbit TV series. What the hell? I said. Master, no. Two said. And then he fell on his knees and he got into a fetal position. Two begins to cry. And you can see a realistic tear dropping out and dropping down from his eye. All I wanted was a happy ending. All of my life as a kung fu master. Two said. And once he was about to cry even more, he heard bone cracking sounds from the other hallway. So Two walked towards the hallway until he made it to the end of the hallway. It wasn't long. The shot of Two walking to that other hallway was 10 seconds, not long. He peeked in the corner, and what he saw almost made him throw up. Tex was eating the bloody remains of Biggie. Tex was eating his ears, including his eyeball. Two gasped in shock. It was the same audio from the second movie. Tex turned his head around to see Two. Two begins to scream and then he ran out of sight. When Two kept on running as fast as he could. And once he made it to the stairs to the exit of the trapdoor, Two didn't dare himself to turn around. But he forced himself to look behind him. Tex was flying towards him with that sinister grin on his face. And then both Two and Tex got out of the trapdoor. And when Tex was about to grab him, Two had no choice. He got his fist ready, and he turned around quickly and punched Tex so hard in the face that Tex's head was spinning rapidly fast. And then Tex stopped his head from spinning. How dare you punch the T-Man? Tex shouted. All right, you ask for it. Tex brings out his moo can and he dipped it upside down, letting out a distorted moo. And as it mooed, it let out a shock wave, causing Two to fly back. It was lucky for him because he was getting closer to the door. Two got up and he ran towards the door. And once he was about 2 feet away from the door, Tex grabbed him by the neck and he flew back to the THX logo. As Two was struggling to speak due to the fact that he was being choked by Tex, and Two said his last words. You will pay for what you've done to my friends. You aren't gonna do anything. You know why? Because your life as a kung fu master is now officially over, Tex said. And then he drops Two to his doom. When Two begins to let out that Howie / gut-wrenching scream as he was falling to his death. Just before Two was about to make contact with the ground, the screen cut to black, with Two letting out a blood-curdling scream, and bones cracking and breaking and blood splattering. It's almost like his actor sounded like he broke his leg or something. It showed a black screen for about 3 seconds. It's 3 seconds this time, not 5. And then it showed the wide shot of the THX logo, like in the Mucan trailer. In the middle top of the logo was Two's head. That blood was leaking from the bottom of the head. The deep note rose and it played. But the deep note was kind of the same one from the Halloween 2007 trailer that Rowan found on January of 2020. And after the deep note ended, the text dropped down to the ground. You guessed it, like in the Mucan trailer. And then text said, "Peekaboo, Legendary Rabbit fans. Sexy Texy the THX is back. And I have murdered your precious Legendary Rabbit characters. You want to know why? It's because they are a ripoff to Kung Fu Panda. Even though I already killed Po and his Furious 5, but I decided to kill these 4 just for fun. So remember this, so-called Legendary Rabbit viewers. If any of you are afraid of me, or my logo, or my company, I will track you down. And I will show off my martial arts skills on you. See you later, alligators." Tex pressed the button, and he flew away, laughing evilly. Just then, the THX slogan the audience is listening dropped down. "Like always." And the screen faded to black. However, it showed one more thing before the trailer ended. If you said a jump scare, then you're completely right. It showed an image of Two screaming, while he was running away from the lion guards that was shown in the second movie. However, it was edited. His eyes were agape, and blood was drooling out of his eyes. And even his mouth was leaking blood as well. And the screaming sound was exactly the same as the Piracy It's a Crime extended cut. And the image started to glitch. Almost like how NES games were glitching out for some reason. And then once the image fully glitched out and distorts, it cuts to static. And then the static noise begins to fade out, and I can hear Tech's voice saying, "See you on the other side." Referencing the current THX slogan. And then the static stopped. And once the static stopped, it cut to black, and then it took me back to the menu. What can I say? I was traumatized on what I saw. I wasn't kidding. So, before I took the DVD out, you know what I did? Yep. I recorded the footage and I posted on the Mediafire. Just in case if anyone doesn't believe me. Even if I shown the trailer to the people that they're extremely familiar with Legendary Rabbit, the Marshal of Fire. I took out the DVD, and when I was about to put it in, I accidentally dropped it. And when I was about to pick it up, I noticed some Japanese text on the back of the case. So I used Google Translate on what the text said. So the text translates to, "This trailer was created by Adam Kennington." Oh, for God's sake, I said in frustration. And ever since, and then a week after the DVD, I had a nightmare. And I was walking around the mall, and then I heard that familiar jackpack sound. And I turned behind me. It was Tex. He was flying towards me. I ran as fast as I could, but it was no use. Tex grabbed me by the neck, and then when he was about to stab me with the knife, I woke up. What the hell was that? I said. So it's been about several months since I saw the Legendary Rabbit DVD. Yes, I did throw the DVD in the trash can. Yeah, I did destroy the DVD. So after, and yes, I did learn that Adam Kennington was bailed out of prison because I saw the Rowan Horton's creepypastas about the McDonald's Toy Story Australian McDonald's creepypasta. So I'm pretty sure Adam Kennington is doing really well and doing a lot better than ever before. So, and just before I head off, I have to give you a warning. Adam Kennington may forgot his other disturbing content that he created. So if you find any of his disturbing stuff that he created before he went to prison, do not watch it.